Hi Cancer, welcome to your reading for Sagittarius season. If you're new, welcome to the Witch Switch, where we switch off everyday normal life and switch on to the witchery. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. For Sag season, we're going to do your typical past, present, and future spread. I'm going to pull out 3 cards, give a little meaning about what they mean and how they represent the position, and then we'll dive into it. If you want a personal reading, my link, my website is below, and follow me on Instagram. If you ever want to have a personal reading with me and you live in the New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania area, follow me. I usually have my events posted there, and you could meet with me, okay? So I'm going to do a quick shuffle, and then we will get started. All right, Spirit, please give me 3 cards for Cancer, please. Past, present, and future. Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right, Cancer. So for your past position, you have the 4 of Coins. For your present position, we have the Page of Wands. And for your future, we have the Moon. You are naturally ruled by the Moon. So we do have a Gemini Moon coming up. We'll see if that plays into what you need to know for the future. But as of now, your future is undecided. All right, undecided in a way that we don't know which way the tides will turn. But I think we can try to figure out how the future may be held for you. All right. Now, in your past position, you have the 4 of Coins. The 4 of Coins tells me that we are in a position where there is no wiggle room. We can't afford to take risk. We have to consider everything that we have. Nothing should go to waste. Okay. And that means even having to do things you don't want to do to ensure that whatever it is you have in terms of security and stability is there for you the following day or in a short span of time. Okay. Now, for some, it could represent divorce. It could represent having a lot of losses where now you really have to count your pennies, your coins, you know. Oh, we have about 5 cards that came out here. Okay. And I feel like in the past that has left you feeling like at a loss, you know. It's having to reestablish yourself, not just financially, but your reputation. Okay? It's also having to figure out a new direction, something that you've never had to endure before. There was a lot of betrayal and deception in your past, Cancer. So there's a lot of things that you had to kind of fight on your own. There was a lot of things you had to learn on your own. Okay? I'm trying to make everything come up and fit. Okay? So that was hard. That's hard, you know, having to count and make sure you're saving enough for next month's rent. And it was a big hit that you took, right? Whether if it's not divorce, it's probably losing your job. Some of you, who knows, maybe you were a government worker. The government just kicked back into gear a few weeks ago. So for some of you, this could be in relation to those working, in government that lost their job to the shutdown. All right. And then for others of you, it could just feel that maybe some of yous are still harboring the past. Maybe some of yous went through a big ordeal when you were a child. Your parents probably separated. You had to live with one of your parents who, had to take a big hit financially. So you grew up in positions where you didn't have a lot. All right. So this could be for anyone. This is a general, right? That's why I say, personal readings are just best. But let me know what you think in the comments, and, we can totally kind of dive into your personal reading. All right. Present. Let me see if I can shift this over just a teensy bit. All right. So for the present, you have the Page of Wands. So now with Sagittarius season, there's a little energy that you're picking up on. You know, there's a little fire that you can kind of mix with, whether it be enthusiasm, whether it be the confidence to do something, whether it's actually taking a risk somewhere else. Right now, you feel like you can celebrate. You can kind of breathe a little bit. You know what I mean? I think there are some worries that you're still dealing with, or some anxieties you're still going through, but you found the way to kind of, I don't know, change your perspective. I see with the Page of Swords here, you had to learn how to adapt. Okay? And now I feel like you can. You probably have met new people, have a better support group in comparison to what you had in the past. So I feel like handling anxieties and mental stress has become a little bit easier, especially during this time. All right. Well, you're social. You just want to have fun. You're seeing the light of day. You know, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's not so doom and gloom. Okay. The waters are not murky. There's a little bit of light in the water. You can see things a little clearly, even when it comes to making decisions. I think you really have a great support group now, Cancer, more so than you've ever had in your life. And I feel like that's given a new spark of life at the same time for you. So good for you. So let's get into the future. Let's see what this moon is about. Tower. So expect some things to change. Expect the unexpected, okay? Don't dread it, but just be aware that when it comes, just know you can handle it. Now, when it does come, it may be by someone who is in an authoritative position, or someone you're no longer speaking to, a father figure even. It's just, or this could represent how you will react to these unexpected changes. All these cards flew out, Cancer. We have this card of deception come here again. So in the beginning of the reading, as you saw earlier when we went through your past, the Seven of Swords was at the bottom of the deck. There's only so much I could fit on the screen, so forgive me. But it's showing up here, but it's in the reverse. So this tells me that I feel for some of you, let's say if you did go through a divorce in the past, or there has been influence of divorce, whether from your own parents or maybe your own perceptions of marriage, and you find yourself in a relationship now or in the future, do not mix your past and bring it back into the future, please. Because what this is telling me is that, you know, this unexpected change that will come in may shift you or trigger you back to reacting to how things were in the past, or having this expectation that you're going to have to save and be mindful of your coin, or you're not going to be able to take risk when it comes to opening up into a new endeavor with someone. The only person that's stopping you from obtaining happiness in terms of like romantic relationships and partnerships is you, Cancer. Because sometimes when you can't get over the past, you dwell on it and you internalize so much that other people can't really help you or ease your pain when you don't talk about it. A lot of Cancers shut down. You shut down, you hide back in your shell, and then you have this expectation that people should know what you're thinking, but in reality, no one knows what you're thinking, nor do they know what you're feeling if you don't express yourself. So these are things that you have to learn how to communicate. You could always put them in the back burner. You can always hide them through your friends or through whatever you're doing in life, but eventually they will catch up to you. And then you will self-sabotage. So we really want to be careful here, because I do see an opportunity of commitment. You have the Emperor and you have the Empress here. You have Three of Pentacles here. You have Queen of Pentacles here. These are all good standing cards. These people make up a really decent structural secure foundation. But then with the Seven of Swords here, even though it's in the reverse with all these other cards. So this tells me that this deception that you dealt with in your past is still reappearing here, and I think unconsciously. With the moon here, this tells me this is an unconscious, or perhaps maybe not unconscious, a subconscious kind of reaction defense mechanism, even always having to question things, having to be on guard, maybe not expecting things to go in your favor. But those are self-limiting beliefs, I think. I think you are deserving of something secure and stable and something that provides safety. But this Gemini moon that's coming up is really going to show you where you're lacking in terms of faith and in terms of, your ability to manifest. You're very psychic and you have a lot of intuitive abilities, Cancer. But if you don't have faith into the things that you want, or if you don't believe that the things that you want you can have, or you're always being pessimistic and looking for the faults of things, then you're always going to be without. You're always going to have less than what you're supposed to have. So, it's being able to maybe, the phrase lightning doesn't strike twice. Maybe it's allowing the past to stay back there. It's not going to happen again. If you believe that it will, if you look for reasons to believe that things, will be taken from you, then they will. And that tower will show up every time to show you that things will be taken from you if you believe that you always have to prepare for the worst or expect the worst all the time. It's one thing to be prepared. It's another to anticipate that. So I'm going to bring out oracle cards. The one that came up is gratitude. One way to weigh the pros and cons when it comes to abundance and richness in life is to shift your value. Shift the currency from money to things that you find that you are absolutely rich in life that most people around you don't have. So it's counting your blessings, whether that be in terms of love, whether that be in terms of friendship, support, career, real estate, whatever it is. I'm sure there are things in your life that you have so much of that the people around you do not. And it's finding gratitude in that kind of value and seeing that you really are rich in life at the same time. You really are abundant and fruitful, and you can take the necessary risks that you really want. Surrender to the divine. Another great card. One way to change your whole perspective around is to have gratitude for the things that you have. And, just know that whatever challenges the tower brings, surrender yourself to the divine. Just know that things will work out. Things always work out. Nothing bad lasts forever. Nothing bad, nothing good. Things are always changing. You know this. You're ruled by the tides. The tides, there's high and low tides. They're always changing. It never stops. Your flow never stops. Not all your fears have to turn into something so bad. Not every kind of spirituality or practice has to be bad. Not everything has to be a bad omen. So it's needing to change your perception on things. So, things come into fruition, right, Cancer? All right, I'm going to bring out these prompt cards. This is good for reflecting, okay? Let me know if any of these relate to you at this time. All right, Cancer, so here's what came out. Complete the following sentences. If blank was true about me, I would be scared. If blank was true about me, I would be horrified. Unpack why this is the case. What values did you grow up with? How are your values now the same or different? And if you could erase one memory, what would it be? All right, Cancer, I'm going to leave that there. A lot of things to think about, a lot of things to reflect on. This is the time to do it, especially with the Gemini moon coming in. Geminis are all about communication, imagination, intellect, self-reflection, self-awareness. So although you're ruled by the moon, it's going to be in a sign that's all about communication, and it's ruled by Mercury, and it's fast, and it's seeing things in a macro perspective. You're going to have to kind of take yourself out of your emotions and instead put it into your mind. You're going to have to try to process your emotions. You're going to have to probably talk them out for you to understand how deep-rooted some of these problems that you may be facing are. Maybe how deep-rooted your past really is. Having that kind of awareness and knowing that you can change it. That tower there is not to scare you. It's to show you how you are reacting to things, where you're lacking, where you can change the circumstances, whether it be people or any aspect of your life that you're not satisfied in or you feel that could be better. Okay? I'm going to leave that there. Good luck to you, Cancer. Again, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tap on the notification bell, and I will see you around, Cancer. Thank you for watching. Bye.